Shalom Akim, all praise goes to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, Hashem Hakwadash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Salutations go out to you brothers out there pushing this word in all sincerity and honesty. I'm the brother Kara Allah, and through this bird, this is another lesson. Lord, brothers edified. Right? Because they call us doomsday prophets. Matter of fact, Lord, will that be the name of this show? Is it Ecclesiastes 3:8? A time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. Right? Now, what time are we in today? All right? You turn your news on, okay, and what do you see? Death, destruction, all right? Death and destruction, because that's the time we are in. A time of hate, a time of war. All right? We're not in the time of love. We're not in the time of peace. Okay? Ecclesiastes 3:8. So that's the first thing you got to understand. You got to understand what time we're in. Okay? This is why the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone on down, what they preach is what? War, hate, doomsday, which is what? World War III. Okay? The return of the one earning called Jesus Christ, Yahweh Shai. Okay? And what he's coming down to do. All right? What he's coming down to do. It's pretty simple. It's pretty to the point what Yahweh Shai is coming down to do. All right? Matthew 10:34. Think not that I have come to send peace on earth. I come not to send peace, but a sword. All right? So there you go. All right? The Lord is not with America or this kingdom, this rulership ruling forever and ever. All right? Those are lies that's told to you by Esau. All right? Today known as a so-called white man. And not just him, and not just any so-called white man. I'm talking about the elites, the ones that's running the world. Okay? They put that thought in, that image in your head of Caesar Borgia. Look up Caesar Borgia. All right? He's an Edomite, and he posed for the picture that came to be known as Jesus Christ during the time of the Renaissance. All right? But according to Matthew 10:34, it says, think not that I have come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. All right? So the Lord is not coming to send peace on earth. First of all, he's a dark-skinned man, and he's coming back for vengeance. You can read about that in Isaiah, I believe, the 65th chapter. All right? Real quick, because they call us doomsday prophets. But when you read the Bible, and you actually get into these prophecies, it's going into a lot of times death and destruction. All right? The sword. No, I'm just freestyling right now because, when we talk about doomsday, it ain't that hard to pull out, scriptures on on the end times, right? Let me see. All right. It says Isaiah 66 verse 15. For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariot like a whirlwind. Right, and that fire is going into those nuclear missiles. All right, those thermonuclear missiles, those ICBMs that's being developed right now, but it's also going into those chariots. All right, the so-called UFOs. It says, and will and with his chariots like a whirlwind, and that's going to the power. All right, and a whirlwind destroys, doesn't it? To render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. So listen, man. Here it is. It says here the Lord is angry. So where is this Lord of peace? All right, Lord of prosperity, kind. All right. Listen, the Lord said he said it right there in Isaiah 66, verse 15. It says, for behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. Right. The Lord is mad with this kingdom and people that follow it, including 2/3 of our own people, 2/3 of the Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You follow America in his wicked ways. And the Lord is mad. The Lord is mad with America and the ones that follow in America. Okay? That's what he's mad about. That's why it says to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. America broke every law, statute, commandment in the Bible. All right? Did every wickedness imaginable. And the Lord is highly upset with that. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. So that's the day, when the Lord comes back. That's what he's coming back for. All right, a lot of people hear that, and they don't want to. They don't really want to listen to the prophets, or they want to kill the prophets, or mock the prophets because what they're hearing is so stone cold, and it's the truth, and the truth does hurt. All right. I believe it's Isaiah 30, man. It says, right, going into our own people. All right. Isaiah 30 and our own people, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. All right. We make up the nation of Israel. It says, now go write it before them, Isaiah 30 and 8. Now go write it before them on the table and note it in the book, and it may be for the time to come forever and ever. And this is a rebellious people, lying children that will not hear the law of the Lord. So it's talking about the nation of Israel, man. Okay. Rebellious, they rebel. Which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not. Unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits. So it's blatantly saying, and we can see it now, what's going on is we have our people, and what they want to hear is, smooth things that's not according to the scriptures. Like it's okay to eat pork. It's okay to get a lineup. It's okay. It's okay to have threesomes. It's okay to be a homosexual. Don't hate the sinner, hate the sin. These are smooth things, or America's gonna be just fine. We're building up a Israelite community in America for all black people. These are smooth things, but these are deceit. These are deceits. All right, because the laws are not done away with. The laws are not done away with. From the Old Testament to the New Testament, the laws are not done away with. America is going to be destroyed. All right? It says, verse 11, Isaiah 30 and 11, get you out of the way, turn aside onto the path, because the Holy One of Israel, it says, get you out of the way, turn aside out of the path, cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us. Basically, they want the prophets to shut up. Shut up, man. Okay? They want the prophets to shut up. Stop talking about the Lord. Verse 12 says, thus saith the Holy One of Israel, because he despised this word and trust in oppression and perverseness and stay thereon. Therefore, this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall. Oh, okay. So now it's going into the demise of our 2/3. It says, wherefore thus saith the Holy One of Israel, right? Because ye despised this word and trust in oppression and perverseness and stay thereon. Right, that's what you trust in, man. Oppression. All right? Because we're in a state of hardcore bondage, physically and mentally. And perverseness. And what do they perverse? The scriptures, the law, statutes, and commandments of the Bible, and stay thereon. Therefore, this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in the high wall, whose breaking cometh suddenly at an instant. Right? Whose breaking comes suddenly as an instant. Like the Lord said, he's coming back like a thief in the night. All right? At any given moment, your demise, your downfall, all right, or your death, along with this kingdom, could come. At any given moment, World War III could break out. Martial law could break out. A famine, pestilence, any given moment. That's why the Lord said, blessed is the servant that when he cometh, he finds still working or still watching. All right. Let me try to get Amos, because they call us doomsday prophets. Amos 5:18. Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it to you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light. But our people are taught. The whole world is taught really under the vibration of Esau, that the day of the Lord is going to be peaceful and beautiful, and it's going to be a beautiful day. All right, the birds are going to be chirping, and the children dancing in the street, and so on and so forth. But it says, woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it to you? Is it for you? Because here it is, you're desiring the day of the Lord, but you don't know the end. You don't know the end thereof. You don't know the end of the end of it, man. Okay, the Lord's coming back to put people to death, judgment. The day of the Lord is darkness and not light, consisting of those thermonuclear missiles. All right, what do you think is going to happen? The nuclear storm is going to block out the sun. All right, as if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him, or went into a house and leaned his hand on the wall, and his serpent bit him. Shall not the Lord be darkness and not light, even very dark, and no brightness in it? Okay, so here it is. You escape a lion and a bear meet you, or you lean your hand on the wall, and a serpent bit you. So that's going into these different calamities. The different calamities. All right, martial law, the Gurkha, foreign troops terrorizing your neighborhoods. All right, the concentration camps. Okay? People raping and robbing and murdering and pillaging your households. All right? The famine, the sword, the gun. All right? These are different calamities and judgments that people won't be able to escape. All right? So that's the times we're in right now. So are we doomsday prophets? Yeah, we're doomsday prophets. All we preach is hate, is bad. Well, technically, I wouldn't say all we preach is bad news. All right, because the gospel is good news. This is the gospel. End of the day, these prophecies is still a part of the gospel, the good news. All right, it's good for who? First of all, it's good for the Lord's men. All right, it's good for the Lord's men because listen, we're sighing and crying right now in this captivity, in this kingdom. We're sighing and crying right now. All right. Matter of fact, I'll go straight to the point. Let's see. Abominations. Right, Ezekiel 9:4. And the Lord saith unto him, Go through the midst of the city, to the midst of Jerusalem. Right, Jerusalem is a people before it's a place. Okay, so wherever the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are, there is Jerusalem. Okay, it says, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry, and that mark is not talking about the RFID microchip. That mark, when you go to the Hebrew, the Hebrew word there is tawab, and when you break it down, it goes into it means I believe is resent from judgment. Okay, meaning what? We won't be put to death along with 2/3. All right, and that mark is going into the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Bible. It says, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry for the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. Right, for the wickedness. All right, we sighing and crying. We calling people out. We calling you out on your madness, and you don't want to get right. So here we are, doomsday prophets. But this is, this is actually the gospel. This is actually the good news. All right, and long will, I'm part of that number also, man, because I want to get up out of here too. All right, and this last script, I'll end it on this. Jeremiah, all right, 8:28, I believe. Shoot. Let me see something, man. It says, Jeremiah 20:8, the prophets that have been before me, before thee of old, prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms. So wait, this is the job of a prophet. This is the job of a prophet. All right? The spirit of a prophet is subject unto a prophet. A prophet, all right, comes and goes and comes back and prophesies, comes, grows old, pass away, and come back and prophesy the same thing. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. So that's what we're doing today through the Spirit. Okay? It says the prophets which prophesy of peace, when the word of the prophet shall come to pass, then shall the prophet be known that the Lord hath truly sent him. So if you call yourself a prophet and you're talking about peace and you're talking about building up these communities and building up so-called black communities and prospering and all schools and college, all right, and marching, all right, and justice, fighting for justice and equality, right? When these things come to pass, then it'll be known that you were a prophet, all right. But those things aren't going to come to pass, man. All right, because when you get the understanding, you understand this place has to be destroyed. Okay, so if you want to call us doomsday prophets and all you preach is bad, you don't really understand. You err not knowing the scriptures, but you also don't have the spiritual ears to understand. Now, Lord will, brothers were edified through the Spirit. I want to say, all praise to go see how, wash him, Yahweh, shower, Shem, Dash, double honor to the apostles and the elders of a great millstone. And salutations to the icon out there pushing the Spirit and also to the honesty, the hopeful elect. Lord, I'm part of that number. Shalom.